everybody, John here from All Miniatures Great and Small, and today we're continuing our look at Blood Red Skies. This is the Battle of Midway release. I don't know if we're calling it second edition or not, but it's pretty cool to have some new stuff. This is all, again, themed for the Battle of Midway. This box contains Dauntlesses and Devastators. So we can see a really cool picture on the back. A painting example, which is very cool. We can see the contents here: 3 Warlord Resin Dauntless, 3 Devastator, 6 flying bases, 1 punch board with game tokens, 2 aircraft cards, 1 doctrine card, 2 aircraft trait cards, and a water slide aircraft marking sheet. Alright, let's go open it up. And they do advertise this as being 1/200 scale. Okay. Very cool. I do appreciate that the box is nice and small. They're not wasting cardboard, which is nice. You got 6 of these stands. We're just going to get them out of the way. We have the counters you might need to play. You've got all the extra doodads. Decal sheet, which for these guys apparently is just the stars. It's a shame they didn't include the aircraft numbers, but I understand why they might not be able to afford to get a bigger sheet in there. Then we have an aircraft trait: Sluggish. Poor acceleration, low power, high weight, or stiff controls could make a plane unwieldy in the air. Play a sluggish plane, choosing a pilot action. Do sluggish planes may not use the outmaneuver action. So this is a negative aircraft trait, and it represents the fact that we're talking about big ungainly bombers here. Interlocking fire, aircraft with turrets employed interlocking fields of fire for mutual defense. In reaction to a plane with a turret firepower rating being attacked, add +1 firepower for every other friendly plane within range of the attacker with a turret in arc. Nice. And that's a doctrine card. And then laden or laden. Carrying bombs or their payloads heavily impacted an aircraft's performance. Play on all laden aircraft or planes at the beginning of the battle. It no longer applies once the aircraft's payload is discharged. Do until that plane is unladen. It has a -1 pilot skill, -1 speed, and may not climb for advantage if the enemy is within 18. Another negative aircraft trait. Alright, and then we have these. We saw this in the other box. It did include cards for these because you had cardboard cutouts for these aircraft. And we could see the Devastator. It's a torpedo bomber. Its traits are torpedo bomber, turret, and sluggish. And the dive bomber is dive bomber, trait, and turret. Rear, they're both rear FP1. So very cool. All right, now the fun part. Let's take a look at the models themselves. They're all kind of dumped in here, which is cool. Okay, so we have 3 Dauntless dive bombers and 3, let's see who packed this. Jess, thank you, Jess. 3 Devastators. So these can slot in there. I'm sure these are like supposed to represent the front of the torpedo. The base is, or the plug for the stand is kind of in the middle of the torpedo, but I don't know if you can see that, but that's probably the back of the torpedo molded there. So very nice. The Devastator was used very early in the war. Midway was its last real combat deployment because they just got slaughtered. But it's a cool-looking airplane. Eventually, it was replaced by the TBF Avenger torpedo plane. But it's pretty cool that you have it. I mean, it's not a good airplane. It was obsolete by the time of World War II. But you know, it's cool to have. I like it. One of the things I like is the Devastator looks great in its pre-war paint schemes with the aluminum and the colorful tail and nose stripes. Very cool. If you haven't seen it, you should check them out. All the pre-war American aircraft, it just looked amazing. And then they switched to, obviously, the blue, light blue-gray. But yeah, Devastator looks cool. The Dauntless dive bomber. You can see it's substantially smaller. The Dauntless soldiered on throughout the war. It was replaced by the Helldiver, but never completely or fully. And the Helldiver was, in some ways, kind of a failure. It was not a very good plane. A lot of pilots preferred the Dauntless to it. Okay, so here's my nitpicking. I kind of wish that the canopy was open. In all the paintings and photos and all of that, the Dauntless in particular is shown with the back open because that's where the gunner is. He can't shoot if that's closed. The Devastator's the same way. The back should be open, but the Dauntless look is kind of iconic with the pilot canopy open and the gunner sticking out with his machine gun. So I am a little disappointed that it's a closed canopy. I do realize this is a plastic or resin, as they call it, but it's yeah. So that's the little disappointment I feel. Now I might be able to, maybe cut that out or carve it out and drill in there and put a small guy and machine gun, but I don't know if I want to go to that effort, which is too bad because the that look of the canopy open and machine gun sticking out is what you think of when you think of Dauntlesses at Midway, and you see that right here on the box. They are ready for battle. These guys look like they're just cruising around. So that's my little nitpick for you guys. But that said, it's really nice to have these. I know bombers typically are targets in scenarios, but it's really nice to have these as actual models in this scale. I really like this scale. They're small, but they're still big enough that you can spend some time making them look nice. Alright guys, there you go. That's a look at the Douglas Dauntless and Devastator Squadron for Blood Red Skies. You get 3 of each plane, which is pretty cool. Very nice. And I think they're going to look really nice when they're painted up. Alright, there you go guys. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please do consider giving us a like and subscribe. Click that bell to receive notification when we release new content. As always, thanks for watching, and keep on gaming.